The Prime Minister has broken his silence on the disparaging comments made by Energy Minister Stuart Young towards the opposition leader. Dr. Keith Rowley says Young's zammy remark towards Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar was in fact a, quote, unfortunate, unnecessary, unintended distraction, end quote.
Yesterday, House Speaker Bridget Anisette George instructed Young to apologize, to which he did. Dr. Rowley acknowledged that the issue had been extensively and comprehensively dealt with by the House, adding that Minister Young's apology should satisfy those affected.
Dr. Rowley expressed hope for a similar apology from the opposition member Kamla Persad-Bissessar for previously recorded allegations suggesting he and his father were involved in criminal activities.
Dr. Rowley also mentioned the ongoing police investigation into human trafficking allegations and urged members to avoid behaviors like extortion and blackmail while seeking to be better individuals.
But UNC political leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar says there is bacchanal within the Balizé.
Now, her comment follows yesterday's tongue-lashing by the House Speaker against Government Minister Stuart Young for his comments towards the opposition, which she labelled as deeply offensive.
Persad-Bissessar said while Young may have been spared from the Privileges Committee, PNM party members appeared divided.
Here's more.
UNC political leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar says cracks within the PNM were exposed in Parliament when Port of Spain North St Anne's West MP Stuart Young was reprimanded by House Speaker Bridget Anisette George on Thursday for his remarks against the opposition during a hot mic incident. He had directed offensive comments, including a homophobic slang towards the opposition, on October 10th as he left the Parliament. Responding to questions from CNC3 News, Persad-Bissessar said the division was clear, as is captured here, when the PNM bench failed to thump their desk in unison after the Deputy House Speaker ruled to not send Young to the Privileges Committee. Persad-Bissessar noted that had Young faced the Privileges Committee, his colleagues against his bid for leadership, according to her, would have cut him down. It's a sentiment also shared by political analyst Dr. Bishnu Raghunath.
There was not full-fledged support even within the PNM for that apology to be accepted in that way. Two, from a gender perspective, clearly the Speaker had made a strong ruling, and it was left to a man to come and say, we accept your apology.
Persad-Bissessar said she believed House Speaker Bridget Anisette George's condemnation of Young was genuine and sincere. She further noted, however, that his comments injected fear among women in Parliament given its hypersexual nature. Meanwhile, political analyst Dr. Indira Rampersad is calling for his resignation. Dr. Rampersad labelled the utterances as inflammatory and undermined Young's leadership thrust in the People's National Movement.
He's actually spoiled any chances of becoming the party leader with those comments. And more than Privileges Committee, which I think he should correctly have been referred to. So I disagree with that decision not to send him to the Privileges Committee, because this certainly warrants that, and that there were obscenities involved, but there were also unsavory, unbecoming remarks, which could be defamatory.
Co-founder of Pride TT, Kennedy Everett Maraj, told CNC3 News that while the House Speaker's admonishment of Young was necessary and appropriate, the lack of meaningful action was deemed troubling. He maintained that homophobia was not peacock and had no place in the country's parliament.
Now, when contacted, Vice Chairman of the PNM's Women's League, Camille Robinson-Regis, said they continue to support Minister Young and that his apology reflected his integrity and commitment to respectful discourse. She further denied the opposition's claim of division within the PNM. Well, today we asked if you believe Stuart Young should have faced a stronger reprimand for his offensive statements in Parliament.
Here's what you had to say.
The People Say, brought to you by Excel Health TT, the official supplement of the CPL.
Them doesn't get no penalized or nothing, them just do all kind of thing and be like a bird in a tree. Yeah? And that's what I'm saying. So where you get it is nothing.
That was disrespectful. It was a very disrespectful thing. For a big minister, a man who educated, would they say educated, yeah. And you know, shouldn't say that. I think the law should step in there now.
It's unacceptable, right? You say what kind of discipline you set in outside there? Yeah, I mean, it's parliament, you understand? This is something serious, it's not no kicks-in thing. You understand, my brother? Yeah, you gotta be serious.
I just want to know when they do that out in government, is what going on with the youths who follow. You know what I mean? That is all I have to say.
That was unorthodox. It was uncalled for, definitely. And whatever penalty, it should be harsh.
The People Say, brought to you by XL Health.